The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us. As always, you can hear the show again or see past shows by going to the YouTube channel, which is accessed simply by going to stewart.com/radio. Yes, that's stewart.com/radio. And today we're going to talk to real estate professionals right here in the Houston area. In addition, we'll talk to someone in the home warranty world and find out about what's going on there a little bit later in the show. But first, we have two realtors. The company is Home Smart Realty. They have a team called LT Realty Team, Lakota Jacobson and Tara Centinella. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Well, here you are. You have so many distinctions, but first of all, Lakota. Let's tell people about your company and where geographically you're working here in the Houston area.
So our team is the LT Realty Team. We are located in Missouri City, and we do most of our work in Missouri City and Sugar Land, but we do cover the greater Houston area.
And I'm going to guess, I'm not a genius, but LT, that would be Lakota and Tara, who's sitting right next to me. Right, Tara?
That's right.
So let's tell people, as far as the distinction as we talked before we started the show, what's interesting about you guys is that you are in the Sugar Land, Houston area right now. Mm-hmm. But how long ago? You were both in Washington State not that long ago.
Yeah, we bought our house here in September. Decided to make the move.
Coming up on a year.
Yep, coming up on a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
From Washington State.
From Washington State, from just north of Seattle. Yeah.
So what was the driving force to move from Seattle, the Washington State area, right here to the Sugar Land area?
There was a couple factors. For one, weather, and I know everybody says, "Oh, you're crazy, it's hot and humid."
Because I want to go to Washington State right about now, but okay.
But we wanted some sunshine, we wanted some warm weather, and then we also have two girls at home, so we wanted a better area for them to grow up and a real good place for just a family and a community, and the Fort Bend School District's phenomenal for that.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Just recently on the show a few weeks ago, someone was bragging about the Fort Bend schools, so you have that. But one of the other things that I don't know if a lot of people track, but I do, the similarity between Washington State and Texas is both states are good in that they don't have an extra advantage, we'll say, because we don't have a state income tax.
Absolutely.
And you enjoyed that in Washington.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, are you from Washington State?
From Washington State, born and raised, yeah.
How about you, Tara? You from?
Born and raised.
How about that?
Yep.
Yep.
And then how did you two meet?
Work. She was my manager at a casino before we got into real estate.
Do they have casinos in Washington State?
Oh, yeah,
They
lots
do.
of them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he was working for you.
He was working for me, yeah.
I was trying to get a raise, so, you know.
And now you're on the same team. How does that work? The even Steven or?
It's pretty even,
She's still-
Steven. I mean,
I have my favorite tasks. He has his, so
Yeah.
it works out well.
yeah.
That sounds pretty good. So, but you're enjoying Houston here almost a year now, and you're new to the Houston real estate scene, so major life changes.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us how the resiliency and how you've been able to adapt to already be successful in real estate and also adapt to a brand new area.
So the biggest thing would be we just try to get involved in the community as much as possible. We sponsor teams. We hold community events. We try to get involved in the church as well as play pickleball and anything we can do to just meet people, because we also just want to create a community for us and meet people being new and not knowing anyone here.
So you're not wasting any time, it
No.
sounds like, because we're just coming up on September, which will be 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned pickleball. I was researching pickleball just yesterday, watched the YouTube video. Apparently it started in the 60s or so, but it's the fastest growing sport.
Yeah, it started in Washington State too, so you'll have to come out and try it sometime.
All right, then I have a trivia question on pickleball, and that is, why is it called pickleball?
So it is actually a group of what do you call those? They're the kayak team.
Kayak?
Row team.
Okay.
So what it was they had a couple guys from UW row team just grabbed a bunch of random stuff that they could get together, right? So they had some ping pong paddles and then just a wiffle ball, and they were trying to play like a badminton/tennis. And the name pickleball comes from, I guess, row is the extra person for the row team. The guy that's like on the bench guy, the next man up is called the pickle. So they just took that from there and they had a bunch of stuff that they found around and made a extra sport out of it.
Well, all I know, it is the rage. And you guys play pickleball?
Yeah, we do.
We just started a couple months ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I understand one of the reasons it is catching on is that you can learn it pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our butts kicked the first time, but
But here you are.
yeah.
I still get my butt kicked most of the time, but I enjoy it.
Okay, so meanwhile, back to real estate. As you've engaged in the community, I guess I'm kind of answering the question, how did you get where you got engaged and got traction in real estate in such short order? So the community, what are some of the other things you're doing to be able to get into this very dynamic real estate market and one that's has a whole lot of realtors in it? So how are you finding your way?
So we are focusing on farming, our specific area, but on top of that, we are trying to get involved with our social medias as much as possible, adding random strangers and trying to get involved on that side of things. We just started a YouTube channel. We got a Google page, just trying to get as much marketing of ourselves out there as possible.
Started volunteering with HOAs as well and doing events with them. So
Interesting.
yeah.
So and then
fun.
the other thing, as we talked before we started, is that Kevin Davidson was the person that said, hey, you need to get these guys on the show. How did you find Kevin Davidson in short order?
I was Googling one day, trying to find some classes, and in Washington, it's really common. All the title companies host classes and do things for the agents. So I
that's not
started
just a
Googling.
Houston thing.
I was Googling, and Kevin came up, and I emailed him, and he's like, you know what? I actually have all these classes and everything, and we met with him, I think, the following week. So
Yeah, he's been phenomenal in helping us work on our social media and our farming plans too. So it's been awesome.
Well, Kevin's been doing tremendous work also within the ranks of our company, helping us all be better marketers, and a few tricks along the way is he's bringing forth. So he's a very valuable guy and a super guy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be talking to Kevin a little bit later in the show as well. So as far as the marketplace, are you seeing, are you selling a lot, helping buyers and sellers mostly in the Sugar Land, Fort Bend area?
Yes. Yeah.
And give us an idea from a pricing standpoint, just out of curiosity, versus Washington, the Seattle area. What are the price points in Seattle versus here in Fort Bend?
So Seattle, you're looking around $1 million primarily.
It's more expensive,
Way more
So
expensive.
to put a perspective on it, we just sold 1,000
Square foot.
square foot home, which was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath Rambler, for $450,000. Now you come to Texas and you can buy
A house 3 times the size for $100,000 less. Yeah.
A big difference,
No.
huh?
Oh yeah.
It's
So
a massive difference.
median home price in Seattle area is over $1 million. Median home price in Sugar Land is $460,000 right now.
And what's the activity like when you left a year ago, basically, in the Seattle market?
It is still booming. Yeah. It was.
So people are going out there.
Yeah. A lot of tech companies and stuff are bringing companies out there. It's getting overpopulated for sure. There's a lot of traffic, and it's just kind of was time to get out of there too.
Yeah,
There's a
we
lot of
don't, we
crime and stuff
don't,
getting
we don't
out.
have any traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, our traffic, we got a lot of people like coming from Washington State,
Oh, yeah.
California, even the East Coast. So, yeah, our traffic is plentiful. And also that we have a lot of listeners because of that at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock on Sundays.
Absolutely.
So that's a super deal. So what are you finding? Were you realtors at all when you were in Washington?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we were realtors for 2.5 years up there.
So is there anything different as far as the mechanics of maybe the paperwork or the transaction? What's the differences that you find here versus there, Washington State, Houston, Texas?
There's quite a bit of difference. There was a lot to learn coming here. I thought I was going to have it just right out the gate, but it took a little while to adjust. I mean,
She's being modest. She is a paperwork rock star for sure.
yeah,
And is the paperwork easier here or more voluminous or what? Or the same?
I think it's easier. Texas definitely has their system set up a lot better.
More condensed.
Yeah, definitely more condensed, where Washington is like, we're going to take 7 forms and make your offer. In here, they're like, we're going to put it all in one. So it did make it a lot easier.
Well, we hear people also say our HAR is phenomenal and the is way better than a lot of other states. Is that you? Are you finding that for real?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We were with MWMLS up there and
different program.
Oh yeah, different program.
So here and tell us a bit, Lakota, as far as when you made the change a few years back now from personal trainer to real estate. What even inspired you to be in the real estate profession to begin with?
This lady, actually. So we were both working at a casino, and I was also personal training at the time, and was just asking her what's next, what did she want to do, and she was interested in doing real estate. I was interested in buying real estate, wanted to invest in real estate, so I was like, oh, cool, I'll do that with you and see how that goes. And sure enough, I caught the bug in class and everything, and was just hooked, honestly.
Interesting how opportunities and things knock at our door from time to time in our lives. And you guys, unless you tune into stewart.com/radio and check out the YouTube video that we're making right now as we speak, you guys are young, already having the traction right here in Houston and having some fun as far as new experiences, I'm guessing. And it seems like you have the great attitude to go forth and be really successful while you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, is that true?
Very true, yes. Very true.
Yeah, we've been having a blast. It's been a good time.
So there you go.
Yeah.
How about that? Now, I will say this, we normally get more rain. You've been here during where
it's been dry. Yeah.
Very dry. So you went from a rainy atmosphere to this. So what are the things you're seeing right now in the Fort Bend area as you're out there helping buyers and sellers? Let's take Lakota, the sellers right now. How are you advising someone that you might be giving a listing presentation about what's going on in the market?
So honestly, things are still popping off the market very quickly in Sugar Land specifically.
Wow.
Things are still lasting about 8 days on average on the market. The biggest thing is people heard they were getting crazy amounts over their asking price. It's not happening so much now. It's starting to slow down, but they're still getting small amounts over asking, or at least getting asking price from everyone we've been working with and talking with. So
I will say this, Tara, as far as paperwork, so you must, to be able to do so well with paperwork, you must be, unlike a lot of realtors, you like paperwork?
I surprisingly enjoy it, and I've never been a fan of having a desk job, but for some reason I like I like that side of it.
And there you go. Probably why you're such a tremendous team together.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Super. So as far as what you see ahead, guys, here we are almost at the end of the year. You got a feel for what's going on out in the real estate world, and you're in a brand new, within a year of a new adventure, a new city, and so forth. What do you see? How do you see it winding up here for the end of the year, if you were to speculate?
If I was to speculate, I think interest rates are going to continue to rise this year, unfortunately. But I do believe in the following years and the next year, I think it'll start to decrease again and get back down to a normal range. I think people were used to the 2-point-something, 3%, just because we were in the pandemic and they wanted to make debt cheaper. So I think that's slowing down things just a little bit because people are locked into their 3% interest rates, and so now they're a little more hesitant to move. So it's definitely, we've seen already, just looking at June's numbers in 2022 compared to 2021, we only had 178 homes sold this year. Compared to last year, there was 256 homes sold in the same area. So people are slowing down a little bit.
It's interesting how we can get interest rates, and I'm not a historian on interest rates, but I do know for the most part in the last 10, 15, 20-year period, interest rates have been way more than 2%.
Oh, yeah.
But yet interest rates were at 2% just for a short
time. People get used to it
we
really quick.
got used to it real quick,
Yeah.
and those that were able to take advantage, that was a super thing, huh?
Absolutely.
So before we close this segment, we're talking with Lakota Jacobson and Tara Centinella. They are on the LT Realty team. If you're following along, LT Lakota, T Tara. So there you go. They're with Home Smart Realty. Before we close this segment, Lakota, let's tell people, what else do you want them to know about what you're doing?
So we are really focusing, again, on the family-friendly areas, the suburb areas in the greater Houston area. We love our area, Sugar Land, Missouri City, Pearland, Katy. We're trying to actually bring our whole family down here now.
From Washington?
Yeah. So they've came down a couple times. Last time they were here, we got them to look at some homes, and so they were looking at Sienna Plantation in Missouri City. So yeah, we're just trying to get everyone down here and try to just inform people about Sugar Land, Missouri City, and just like what a great place it is for families.
Are you getting any resistance to them coming or making a move, if any? Or what are the main questions they're asking? Like, well, wait a second, it's hot and humid.
The heat. That's the only thing. Yeah, but they other than the heat, and they just came down for a piece of the summer, so they got to experience that. Home prices are so much more affordable, cost of living so much more affordable, and
friendly people.
Just
Absolutely,
southern friendly. Yeah, it's been great, honestly.
Tara, what else should we know?
It's a great place to raise your family. I mean, we're obviously pretty excited about that.
2 children?
2 children.
2 girls.
How old are they?
8 and 14.
Going into high school.
Yeah, she's going in. We have a freshman this year, so both kids are real excited about that. And yeah, I highly recommend Sugar Land.
Sounds good to me. Lakota, let's tell people how they can reach out to you on the LT Realty team.
So we have a LNT Realty or LT Realty team on Facebook. We also have a Google page, LT Realty team. You can find us there. Reach out to us. We have all of our information. LinkedIn, you can call us, text us, shoot us an email. Everything's right there on our site.
The phone number is?
425-760-6645.
425-760-6645.
That's it. Sounds a lot better when you say it.
I just tried to say it slow, so in case they want to call, right, Tara?
That's right.
All right, guys. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
As we continue, we have the one and only Kevin Davidson. He is one of our business development people right here in the Houston area, focusing on the Fort Bend area. Mr. Davidson, welcome to the show.
How are you doing, Bill? Thanks for having me.
So here we are. We know, many people know, not everybody, but you have some real tremendous skills in the marketing area, not just Facebook, social media. Here you are developing business at Stewart Title in a magnificent way. But let's talk a little bit about marketing as far as people that are out there, whether they're realtors, but especially realtors. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you advise? Because you do have classes as far as helping people market themselves in the real estate world.
Well, working with real estate agents and anybody else in any other industry can also take this into account. But the market's always changing. So if you are in business for yourself, you need to be able to differentiate yourself from the competition. And I always like to use the example that, you can buy a cheeseburger from 5 different companies. And people always ask me, well, how do these 5 different companies last so long? Well, because they all differentiate themselves from the other 4 companies or 6 or how many there are. So they use marketing to differentiate themselves, to solidify their place in the marketplace and create their own brand.
So let's take the real estate professional. There are, I forget the last count, and not everybody's active, maybe 40,000 realtors just in Houston, Texas. So how does someone differentiate themselves, other than being on a radio show, of course, but how do they do that amongst the crowd like that? What do you advise? How do you advise them to find their niche?
Well, the first thing that I recommend is all real estate agents have to be part of a brokerage, and most of those brokerages don't need help marketing their brand. Remax has done it. Keller Williams, everybody knows who they are. So create your own company, create your own company name, create your own slogan, and create your own brand within the brokerage umbrella. And then start promoting that to where you are a real estate entity in the real estate market and in the Houston market. So people start recognizing you and not necessarily your brokerage. Because again, your brokerage does not need any help marketing their brand.
They've been doing it for decades.
They've been doing it for decades.
Right.
Everybody knows the Big Balloon. Everybody knows KW. They've already established themselves. So create your own company, create your own slogan, create your own brand, and market that within the brokerage umbrella, and you will be amazed at how much difference it makes in your career and your company.
So it sounds to me like, or I'm imagining what some realtors do or don't do, this is something you really need to be intentional about, and not something that, have my real estate license, now I'm with the XYZ broker, and I'm just going to go try to help buyers and sellers. Being intentional with this branding within a brokerage organization sounds like something you really have to do and have some kind of plan.
Well, you have to be able to make a plan. You have to be able to dedicate time and effort to it. A lot of what I do and a lot of what I teach doesn't cost any money. It just takes time and effort and learning a new skill, learning how to create Facebook and do it the right way, learning how to work with ads, learning how to work with Google, and all kinds of other things. But when you do these things, what you're doing is you're creating a foundation for yourself in marketing your own brand and your own company. A lot of agents get their license and they go and go on with the larger brokerages, and then they sit back and wait for the leads to come to them. If you do what I teach you and you do half of what I teach you and you actually take it seriously and create the brand for your company, eventually leads will start coming to you instead of the bigger, larger brokerages, and you won't have to worry about sitting at the desk or going into the RE/MAX office all the time or the Keller Williams.
And that's one of the things, as you're saying, you're teaching. With Stewart Title, you've been a tremendous help to real estate professionals, to our business development team, because you're actually out there teaching classes. Let's tell people about some of those classes you're teaching, and some of them, if not all, have the CE credit for continuing education, correct?
Yes, all of my classes. I teach 8 classes. They're all 8.
Wow.
They're all marketing related. Everything from creating your own marketing program from start to finish, just like any other company on the planet, to farming, which is what the LT team was doing, talking about Facebook, Google ads, you name it, creating a good ad. And the reason that I do this is because I learned a long time ago in my career, early in my career, that whether it be title, which is what I do now, or my previous life, working with a real estate agent, you can't just ask them for business. You have to provide value to them. You have to help them grow their business. If you do that, they will in return reward you by using your services, which is what it's all about in the first place. I help you, you help me. And when I like to work with agents from all walks of life, but the main type of agent that really, really benefits from my what I teach and what I do are the new agents or agents like Tara and Lakota that are new to town that are trying to get into the market because they haven't been around for 20 years. They haven't been doing the same things all the time. I'm now starting to see agents that have been around for a while see the value in what I do and what I teach, and now they're reaching out to me. But mainly, I love working with the new agents because I know over time, eventually, when the light switch goes off and things start happening for them, we're gonna have a great relationship.
Kevin Davidson.
There you go.
In fact, it was Zig Ziglar. I don't know the exact words, but he said something like this: if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And the other thing about, he also said, as far as what he does and kind of what you're doing here, we're in the transportation business. We help people get from here to there.
Yes.
That sounds good, right?
Yes.
And it's true.
Of course it is. In any business, especially or specifically real estate, this is about relationships. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. All of our BDOs around the city bring in other entities to teach CE classes for them. I've taken a different take. Now I still bring people in, but for the most part, I teach my own. So when the agent leaves the class, they don't think somebody else is the expert. They think I'm the expert. And if they think I'm the expert, they're going to come to me when I need some more value to them. Long way down, long story short, down the road, they're going to use me, things like that.
And one of the classes you teach is in the 8 classes is I forget the title, but a Google business page. What is that called?
Why agents need to Google my business page.
All right. Tell us a bit about that, because I have not been to that class. That's one of the ones I want to go to and sit in on. But why does an agent need a Google business page? And what is a Google business page? I don't have one. Maybe I need one.
Well, it's funny you bring it up. It's actually becoming rapidly my most famous, popular class. Google My Business is basically a free listing on Google that is much like a social media Facebook page where you can promote yourself, your services with pictures and videos, add your contact information, add your website, but it's all free. Now, in order to get one, all you need to do is register with Google for an email address with Google. Once you have an email address, you have an account with them, you now have access to a Google My Business page, your own YouTube channel, all kinds of apps with Google. And so a lot of people say, well, I have a Yahoo. What's that?
I have a Facebook page.
Okay, but that's not, it's Google My Business is completely different. All right. And I like to describe it as free advertising with Google because let me ask you a question, Bill. What is the number one search engine on the planet?
Google.
What's the number two?
I don't know.
YouTube.
Okay, well, yeah.
Who owns YouTube?
I don't know. I'm going to guess Google.
Okay, so asking those two questions based on those answers, and you want to have an online presence, you must be on
Heck
Google.
yeah.
There you go. So it's just another tool for you to use.
So and you can put videos on there. How long can the videos be? Because as you know, I place segments of each guest. People can reach out to me or go to my name, Bill Knapik, and you'll see my Facebook, all the segments of each guest on the show. How long can the video be on the Google My Business page? 10 minutes? Can I go 10 minutes?
Well, what I recommend on your videos, wherever you put them, that be no longer than 2 minutes. Because what happens is people fall off. They don't want to finish the rest of the video. And at the same time, you don't want to, if you pick a topic when you do a video, like writing a contract, you don't want to spend 20, 30 minutes to an hour telling them how to do a contract. You just want to talk about it for a couple of minutes, get their interest, so then they will contact you. Okay. You don't want to give them all the information in the video because then they don't need you.
That's pretty awesome. So that's one of the 8 classes. Give us a feel for some of the others without going into too much detail, but what are the other things people can learn?
I teach a class on how to effectively do a Facebook ad. I teach a class on how to effectively write ads in general. I do farming class. I do a class called Differentiating Yourself from the Competition.
I want to go to that one too.
Where I teach you how to create a marketing program for yourself from start to finish, tell you how to put it together, tell you how to get partners to help you with it. And this will teach you how to do what every company on the planet did themselves. They all started in the exact same spot.
And you are right there helping real estate professionals primarily in the Sugar Land, Fort Bend area. A lot of people, when they want to close the real estate transactions in those areas, they need to call you.
Yes. Well, I would hope they would.
And some are already know about you from far and wide, like Washington State even, they find you, which is tremendous. But let's tell people the offices you serve. Sugar Land, what's the other one?
Richmond.
So you're out there. If someone wants to close their transaction, they're thinking about it right now, they could simply reach out to you at what?
You can reach me at 832-654-0527 or kevin.davidson@stewart.com.
Phone number again, Kevin, is?
832-654-0527.
And before we close the segment, a last word, what else do you want them to know?
Education and CE classes and marketing is not the only thing that I do. I also put together events in the Fort Bend County area for agents, bingo.
Didn't you have a self-defense class recently?
Matter of fact, yes, a firearms class, and I have a self-defense class September 22nd. Okay, crawfish boils. So I do all kinds of things, but my specialty is educating agents on marketing. Phone
number again, Mr. Davidson, is?
832-654-0527.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
Let's welcome from Home Warranty of America, Deb Lloyd. Deb is in Austin, Texas. Hey, Deb, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Doing great, and we always love to talk to people about home warranties, and also we want to know what's going on in Austin, Texas. But first, let's tell people about your company.
Yes, sir. Well, our company's been around. Home Warranty of America has been around since 1997. We're in all 50 states. We have 3 great plans designed for any and all homes, new construction. We have, you can add on to the plans like pools and septic and standalone freezers, and we have free sellers coverage. Our company has a great claims department. You can do it online or you can call in. We even have a phone app that you can look at, hwa.homewarranty.com. You can file claims, view claim status. You can get a quote. You can look at the benefits for a home warranty. We work real closely with all the realtors in the Austin and surrounding area. And Austin is booming and has been for quite a while.
That's what we hear about the boom town of Austin. I've not been there for a while, but go ahead.
It's unbelievable. We have so much new construction coming out of the ground. I mean, Austin proper, there is no more land. So we're reaching on out. Of course, we're into Cedar Park and Round Rock and Georgetown and moving on into Gerald up north and down all the way to Dripping Springs and on into West Austin. It's unbelievable. The Lakeway is growing by leaps and bounds. More and more people are moving here, so it's great for our economy. We also have plans for realtors. We have something called HWA After. If anybody knows someone who wants to get a home warranty, they can go through their realtor, and we have a referral program of $75 for realtor referrals. I'm sorry, RR. We do a great job in the home warranty business. We take care of our customers, and the main thing is we have in all the major cities, we have account executives, like we have 3 in Houston, 1 in San Antonio, 2 in Dallas, of course, me in Austin and the surrounding area. And like I said, we're in all 50 states.
And as far as your coverage, again, Austin, Texas, when we think about that, you're the representative for Austin. How far out does that go? And I'm thinking of the map in my mind right now, Deb. Mm-hmm. Canyon Lake, that would be a point south. Do you get that far, or is that covered by, say, the San Antonio? I'm just curious.
It is. It's covered by San Antonio. I go out to Lakeway. I go to Burnett. I go to Marble Falls. I even reach out to Abilene. Wow. So I pick up the Abilene market, which is booming also, by the way. They're fixing to build 5,000 new homes out there. And then I go up to Gerald, and we have somebody else covering the Waco area.
Well, we've used the term, you used the term booming a couple times, and I want to talk a little bit about that. As the interest rates a couple months ago started to rise quite a bit, all that said, we know that Austin has been a very active city for years now, but has it slowed down at all in Austin? I think people want to know that.
Well, it's funny because just yesterday I was talking to my cousin who's a realtor in Dallas, and she was telling me how it's really slowed up there. And I'm seeing a little bit, but every day there's realtors out there putting seller's coverage on these houses. So I don't see a big slowdown yet, but I've just seen so much increase in new construction too, new home builds.
And as far as, again, that new construction, it's going from the center of the city in those outer areas, it sounds like. Is that where most of that new construction is?
Yes, sir. And I reach out to Bastrop, and Bastrop is really, they're fixing to start a bunch of these modular homes out there. And then I hear there's another 4,000 new construction homes fixing to come out of the ground. So, again, and we have warranties for new construction homes. Anything after the first year, they can pick up from us.
Some people think that, well, I have a brand new home, so I don't need the home warranty from a company like HWA, Home Warranty of America, because the builder is warranting the home and the appliances inside, I think. So let's tell people why, if they have a new home, it's a good idea to have a home warranty for a new home.
You're absolutely right, Bill. After the first year, I mean, we can cover up to four more years on it. Stuff breaks. So, and it's almost half the price for another 4 years of what you would have to pay if you just decided after the first year to buy a warranty. So I have people all the time, realtors say, just call Deb. She'll talk you through the new construction end of it. And we also cover condos, mobile homes, and townhomes.
So it's a good idea to extend the coverage. Basically, that's what you're doing. What you provide is, after the builder's warranty goes away, you're there to cover the rest of the time, or a given period of time, right? Okay, Deb, well, let's tell people, what are some of the other things, or let's talk about any misconceptions of home warranties. Let's clarify in case someone has a misconception. You're out there in the marketplace talking with realtors. Are there any misconceptions that you want to address before we close the segment?
Well, I think a lot of people think, oh, I don't need one because I'll just get somebody on my own to fix it or whatever. And it's hard to find contractors. So we have our own contractors. That's what I was going to talk about on our claim process. You can do it online, and I call it the Uber of the claims, because once you put in your claim, and you can call it in, but you also can put it in online. It's very simple. And we will send out an email to you, and it says, Bill, ABC water company is coming out, or electrical company is coming out tomorrow at 3:00. And you go, that's great. But if you can't make that time, you can just call that contractor direct and say, I need to reschedule this. And so you'll be working directly with the contractor. And that's even better, because then you're not having to call back into us and go, I can't make that time. Can you set it up for another time? We've just cut out all that middle calling back and forth into the 800 number.
That's like it should be.
It's the way it should be. It's automated. We have a great automated system. Unbelievable. And the other thing about, they go, oh, well, we tried one time and, it didn't work and nobody ever showed up and whatever. Well, that's not the case anymore. I mean, there's so many home warranty companies out there that these contractors, when times slow down, they want to work with home warranty companies because that brings them more business. And so we have lists of them, list. And again, 50 states, we have thousands of contractors.
We're talking with Deb Lloyd with Home Warranty of America in the boomtown of Austin, Texas. Before we close the segment, Deb, let's tell people what else do you want them to know, and let's tell people how to reach out to you.
Well, anybody that needs a home warranty, and they can call me at 512-743-0673, or they can email me at Deborah, DEBRA, .Lloyd, LOYD, at HWA homewarranty.com.
And let's tell people the phone number again is
512-743-0673. And by the way, Bill, I answer my phone on the weekends. I know that's when people are looking at houses, talking to realtors, and again, they need to reach somebody. I'm here for them.
That sounds great. Also, let's tell them if someone's outside of Austin, what's the website for your company?
It's www.hwahomewarranty.com. And we have a phone app, too.
Sounds good, Deb. Thanks for being on the show. Once again, your phone number is?
512-743-0673.
And thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill. Have a great day.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, all the way from Alvin, Texas, to Texas A&M to AM 950 KPRC, John Bramlett. Hey, John.
Howdy, Bill.
How did you like that?
That was fantastic.
Alvin to A&M to.
I'm going to hire you as my hype man. Kevin's going to handle our marketing, and you're going to be my hype man.
Well, I'm.
And
up
when
for
we're
that.
ready to buy our office building, we'll get Lakota and Tara to help us with that as well.
There you go. A lot of great possibilities ahead. Who knows what lies ahead? But it's going to be fascinating. John, welcome to the show. Of course, insurance people wait every week. That's why they go through the whole show, because they know at the end they're going to reach the insurance oasis and find out whatever you bring forth in a tremendous way.
The dessert.
It's the dessert. So today, what were you thinking about bringing today?
Well, I thought we would talk a little bit about errors and omissions coverage and the value that it brings to real estate businesses.
You know, those two words, errors and omissions, I mean, right there, those are categories in our lives. Some things we mess up and some things we omit.
That's right. So we don't want to have to deal with it, but we do need to protect ourselves. And if it comes along, it's in a sense an errors and omissions policy for any business, but specifically we're talking real estate, is a bit like a malpractice that a doctor would have. So if there's a situation where somebody feels like that you haven't done your professional best, and the part of that key is they feel,
That's right.
then there could be a situation. If you think about the world that our listeners are in, real estate, residential real estate, commercial real estate, it's a very complex transaction. And if there was an issue to come about, could you afford a lengthy litigation? Even if it was a frivolous claim, could you afford those defense costs on your own, or is it better to have a partner that can help you with some of those costs if this claim were to take place?
And when you say cost, dollars and cents, also the time it takes away from our momentum of the business that we're involved, or maybe several businesses.
Absolutely.
It's
so
costly.
You're right. There's the defense costs. If there is some issues that were your fault, then potentially there's some damage costs that the plan could help minimize. But you're exactly right. Can you afford to be away from your business that long if you're having to represent yourself and handle this all on your own without an insurance partner?
Time is money, and we never get money we can get back, but we can't get back time.
That is true, and depending upon the amount of money that the defense costs would be and potentially the damages, you may not be able to get your business back. And that's a scary thought.
Errors and omissions. That's why the insurance world has brought that into play to offer to help people be properly insured.
Well, and there's some things that you can do. I mean, we always want people to have coverage, and we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of that, but there are some things that you can do prior or along with the coverage to minimize those risks. So are you consistently training, having Kevin come in and train your agents so that they understand how to be more professional and do a better job? Do you have standard contracts and industry approved contracts that you're using? Are there disclosure forms so that everybody within the transaction process understands how you're going to do business? So there's no confusion. Are you documenting everything? Bill and I had this conversation about X, so I made sure that I documented that Bill and I talked about it, and I shared that documentation, with Bill. Do you have the, properly, processes and procedures in place to make sure that everybody on the team knows this is how we do things, this is the way we do things, and this is the time, and the order in which we do things, so there's not any confusion? Because when you're in court, the judge is going to want to know, how do you handle, how do you communicate, and do you do it on a regular basis? And if you can show them, this is how we do it, this is how often we do it, and then you've got proof that you do it on a consistent basis, then chances are you've got a better chance of winning the situation.
Now, fortunately, I've never been in court defending myself, but I'm going to guess if you say to the judge, I didn't know I had to do that, or my favorite, I forgot, I don't think that's going to fly. Just saying.
No, I don't think ignorance of the law is ever a defense.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you might want to do something other than be a real
on
estate professional. Yeah,
indeed. So, but that's right. In fact, I'm laughing and I'm looking over at Kevin at the same time, because we used to work together with a guy on a radio show where he was an airline pilot, and those words, systems and procedures, before you take off on a plane, that team of pilots, they have things they do. They check every box, and if it's not checked, they don't proceed. Systems and procedure, just like life.
Absolutely. So it's important that you do that, as a way to minimize that risk. When you look to offset the risk, that's when you would bring in coverage from an errors and omissions plans. You've got to realize that each one of those plans is going to be unique, so it should not be cookie cutter. You ought to work with an insurance advisor that has access to a variety of insurance partners, and a variety of insurance partners that focus and specialize in the real estate world. So you don't want a generic E&O plan. You want a plan that's built for a property management firm. You want a plan that's built for a real estate broker. You want a plan that's built for an independent title and attorney agent. So not just something that's pulled off the shelf.
Tailor-made.
Absolutely tailor-made.
And at Stewart Insurance, you're helping people tailor-make their insurance needs, whether it's a real estate professional in their errors and omission policy, all the policies, or even individuals with just their home insurance and car insurance.
Absolutely. We strive to make sure that everybody's properly insured. And all that means is you understand how much risk you're willing to take on as an individual or as a company versus how much risk you want to put on the insurance partner. And that's going to change throughout the life of your insurance plan. Whether you're a brand new broker that it's just a husband and wife or an individual versus maybe a broker that has, 27 or 2,700 agents. So everything is going to change and be different. So you want to continue to look at that. And so whether you have the most robust plan or the most conservative plan, as long as you understand what coverage you do and don't have, you understand how much risk you're taking on yourself versus how much risk you're placing on the insurance company, then in our mind, you're properly insured.
And at Stewart Insurance, you're helping brokers of all sizes help them keep their team insured.
Absolutely.
Properly.
Absolutely. We have clients that just have an errors and omissions plan, and it's a very simple plan, but they're a very small broker. But we also have clients that have a very robust errors and omissions plan, and they also have an umbrella to cover any additional needs. They have a business owner's policy. They have workers' comp to cover any injuries that their associates might have. They have business auto with us, a general liability plan with us, and a cyber liability plan. So we have clients that have a complete overall coverage package, and we have those that just have the errors and omissions. But as a starting point, because this is such a complex business, and because there's so many different types of communication, and because you're dealing with individuals, potentially their most important or robust investment in their life, it's important that you are covered. So if case somebody does say, you know what, I don't think Bill took care of me because I'm an Aggie or because I'm left-handed, or, you helped me sell my home and we sold it for $350,000. And 3 months later, somebody down the street sold theirs for $450,000. Why was that, Bill? So no, with this claims against you, even it could be frivolous.
I forgot.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So even if the claim is frivolous, there's still going to be defense costs. And do you want to absorb all of that yourself, or do you want to have an insurance partner that can help with that situation?
And of course, people here in Houston, we hope most everyone in the real estate world has heard about our show. They hear the insurance segments, but also I like to take the opportunity to mention, as people listen on the internet or know people in other states, that right here, Stewart Insurance, you're helping people be properly insured, not just in Houston, but if there's a real estate broker, I don't know, St. Louis,
Absolutely,
Indiana somewhere, or wherever, Washington State, you can help those people be properly insured, whether they're individuals or real estate brokers.
Absolutely. We have clients on both coasts. We have clients all over the U.S., so we're able to work with them on a variety of their insurance needs, again, generally beginning with the errors and omissions plan.
I do want to say this. You did mention cybersecurity. I ran into someone, John, this week who's a real estate professional, leaving the profession and taking college classes to get into cybersecurity because she said the market is so strong for people that are experts in cybersecurity. Her goal is in a couple of years to be in that world helping people and companies.
Well,
it's a big deal. And they don't have enough people, they're saying, because of the threats.
Well, if you remember when we had our famous FBI agent on a few years ago, Agent, one of the things that he said, and then all the articles that I know you've read and I've read, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when it happens. So, again, one of those situations where if you've got some coverage so you can handle the defense costs, you can handle any potential damages that are there. And then especially if your business in the real estate world, if you're handling any funds, then it's almost critical that you try to get some coverage so that if those funds are stolen and it's deemed that you are the reason that the reason the bad actor was able to get into a system, then you potentially have some coverage.
Well, I always heard that it was plumbers and electricians. They need help. They need people to be. Now, one of the new careers is cybersecurity. So apparently it's lucrative, and you just have to know what you're doing, and you can apply, right?
Absolutely. You're always, in any business, I mean, if you're going to be a superstar and you're going to make the effort to get better, Kevin talked about, that continuing to learn and grow. There's huge opportunities, but especially in that world, because we're just seeing it too many times, and it's not just the big companies that are getting it. It's governments that are getting hit, and it's individuals and small companies that are getting hit. Just think about all the emails that you get every week that says, I'm with XYZ company and your subscription's about to come up, or you get the robocall that says we're with the IRS and you owe $7,000, and if you don't pay it today, we're going to file suit.
Well, the one that's a recurring call that I just got this morning is, hey, your credit card was just charged to Amazon to buy an Apple iPhone. I don't know how many Apple iPhones that I was in the process of buying, but I don't answer those calls, or I try not to. But
well, you used to collect pins, and now you collect Apple iPhones? Is that the thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, actually, I do have two. In the meantime, John, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
If you would like to be properly insured, whether it's your real estate brokerage firm, if you're an independent title and attorney agent, a lender, property management firm, or just an individual or family with your home or auto, motorcycle, wind, flood, vacation property, we can help you at Stewart Insurance. You can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. You can learn more about us at stewartinsurance.com or email us stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
And the Washington State hotline,
866-798-2827. The Fort Bend County hotline, 866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. Thank you, John.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com, or call 866-798-2827.
As we wind down or wind up the show, either way, depending how you look at it, thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We have another word right here with Lakota and Tara. Guys, before we close the show down, what else do you want people to know, Lakota?
If you're looking for a real estate agent in the area, or you just want to know more about the Houston area, we have a new YouTube channel, L&T Realty. We go through different communities and different cities and show you a little bit more about Houston. Coming from Washington State, I didn't know much about Houston, so I did the same thing. I hopped on YouTube, and actually, once we got down here, figured out I really liked Houston, really liked the area. So I want to shine some light on that and, just inform people about the Sugar Land and Greater Houston area.
Now, Tara, you have two children, right?
That's right.
Possibly, are they listening to the show?
They're probably watching cartoons right now.
Okay. Well, if they were listening,
they will be.
What's their names, just in case?
McKenna and Peyton.
So we want to say hi to them, right?
Yep. Hi, girls.
All right. Now you can go back to watching cartoons. In the meantime, so again, if someone wants to reach out to you guys, Lakota, what's the phone number?
425-760-6645. You can shoot us a text, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you.
I think I marvel at the idea that there you are, like the early explorers. I don't know, with Magellan or some of these guys that went to a whole new world, and that's pretty far away. Washington State, I'm guessing, what is that, 3,000 miles, 25?
It's a 5-hour flight almost, so it's far away.
Yeah, it's far away, but you were explorers. You have your whole lives ahead of you. Mm-hmm. You went forth, new city, new careers. That's awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Every week's an adventure. I don't know what adventure you're in, but we thank you for listening to the show. Please tell others. Simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You can see this show. You can see the guests. You can see Lakota, Kevin Davidson, all the greats in Tara right here on the show by going to stewart.com/radio. And of course, check out past shows at that same coordinate, stewart.com/radio. Once again, Bill Knapik here on John Bramlett, Tom Carpentier, Justin Ramirez, Larry Warren, all of us at Stewart Title and Stewart Insurance. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week at stewart.com/radio.